ورحمة الله وبركاته. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم، أما بعد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن أول بيت وضع للناس للذي ببكة مباركا وهدى للعالمين. وقال تعالى أيضا: إن الصفا والمروة من شعائر الله فمن حج البيت أو ائتمر فلا جناح أن يطوف بهما. صدق الله العظيم. Respected elders and fellow Muslims, this month of Hajj, or the Hajj season, is here, and every masjid one goes to, there is some topic on Hajj. And by the time, I think, when this Hajj ends, probably half the Muslims will become Hajis also, just by listening to the amount of talks that are given. But I want to speak on a slightly different level. First of all, this is not a commercial, but some of you might know me, some of you don't know me. I've written books on Hajj, Umrah, du'as for Hajj and Umrah, ladies in Hajj and Umrah. I've written these books. I don't sell them, I don't make any money out of them, so I don't feel I can say a few words about that book as well. That if you need a good Hajj guide, use only the one that has been written by me. Muhammad said Banoo is the name, and these have been sold in the thousands throughout the English world, not only here in South Africa, but throughout the English world. And it is an excellent guide. It is an excellent guide, and it has been written very carefully with a lot of research, and anybody can use it. It is not necessarily Hanafi or Shafi or anything of that sort. It is written there as a Hajj guide. So my advice to you is that those people who are going for Hajj, what happens is that when you receive visitors, somebody says, take this book, somebody says, take this book. I know yesterday, just 2 days ago, I spoke to somebody. They say, we got 6 books. So I said, which 6 you going to use? They said, I don't know. Which books am I going to use? Although there must be some preparation beforehand, you just can't go with your books now and end up in Jeddah, or end up in Medina now, or end up in Makkah and expect something or miracle to happen, or you can just quickly go through this or that. So I said, look, leave all those 6 books alone, or half a dozen that you've got here. Do you have mine? So he says, yes, I have your book. So I said, then read only that. Don't look at anything else. Don't ask anybody else. Don't go into any argument with anybody. And use that book. That is the one that is going to carry you, and it is probably on the market now for at least good 15, 20 years, if not more. And inshallah, there's very light changes in the editions, but anyhow, it's the same book. You use an old edition or a new edition. This book is your best guide for Hajj. So, and as I say, I don't make any profit out of it. I make no money, I make no royalty, no nothing. I've given it over to the publishers. You publish it, you sell it, and you do what you want to with the money. That's your business. So that is as far as the book is concerned, or what guide you should use. I am looking at Hajj in a different manner and in a different light. And that is, I am speaking to you, I'm speaking to you of the Haji, the proper Haji, and the one that is a tourist Haji. Now you'll be surprised that why am I speaking about tourist Haji? I've got a lot of experience with Hajj, and going up and down, and seeing things, and hearing things, and seeing what is happening and all that. So you get a type of a tourist Hajj, where you probably all your money talks, and you have the best of accommodation, and the least of effort. That is what I'm aiming at, is that the effort that comes here, you go from here so far and you find the least of effort. Many people sit around in their hotels, some of them make it, and now with this hot weather, this is probably the toughest part of the year, May, June, July, August, and you find the temperatures run, especially in the afternoon, right up to 45 degrees, sometimes even 50 degrees that we've had in Arafat, where it was so hot that you couldn't just stay in the sun. But anyhow, there are many ways of getting around it. It's not impossible. Many people have made Hajj at that period. I have made Hajj during all those hot months. Nothing has ever happened to me or anything that one could expect. So I'm talking about the Haji that goes there and he sits in his 5-star hotel. And normally when it's 5-star hotel, then the meals are also 5-star. You find the foods that have been put up, and not only that also, the people that are arranging all these things there in Saudi Arabia know that the person is prepared to pay, and the result is that the high cost, apart from the normal cost also, is a very high cost, plus with that also, in the 5 days, they offer you something that is, I don't know in how many $100 per person, and like this people fall for that. Many of the people say, I've got the money, or go for it, but it is just pure comfort and nothing else. You are sitting there the whole day in those tents in Mina or in Arafat and whatever, plenty of various causes of foods that are offered to you. So, like this, if anybody goes with this intention, anybody goes this way, on this route, then he can't come back a Haji. Although he will say Haji Sahib, or he'll write next to his name, or people will address him as Haji Sahib. But a person like that can't be addressed as a Haji because he was sitting there in the hotel room and saying very hot outside. It is hot outside. What do you do if it's hot outside? The heat will never go away. So like that, to make any effort. A lot of people make an effort also. It's not that everybody, but you get the odd few or maybe some that have this, in which they don't make any real effort for tawaf. Look, you can't say now tawaf is very full, I'm not going to go there. Like this, if every Haji has to have that in his mind, tawaf will be very full, I can't go there. Yes, the only excuse me, the only problem is probably at Hajar Aswad, as an example. That at Hajar Aswad, the people are crazy. When I say crazy, I really mean crazy. There, where there is fighting, punching, pushing, and all these things. Please excuse me, my throat is running down. Excuse me. You find people fighting there. What do they fight for? They fight for they fight for to keep the Hajar Aswad. Now let me tell you what is the Hajar Aswad. You, in your pictures, you see a frame there, a silver frame like this here, and you can't see inside, of course, because here's that. That is not the Hajar Aswad. The Hajar Aswad is 3 small pieces, about the sum of mine, the thumbnail, about 3 pieces are like this, stuck into that big thing like this here. So it's not really the Hajar Aswad that you are kissing. It is not really the Hajar Aswad that you are kissing. It's those 3 tiny stones that are stuck in. This stone had a long history. It had been stolen, it had been taken away, it had been broken up and all that. And you find that it's there. People want to fight. People want to push there. You don't have to do all this type of activity. And the more ignorant you are, sometimes not ignorant also, the more learned you are, the more you have a problem is trying to push your way in. Don't push your way. If you look at the thing with this intention, that is the biggest thing, the intention. You look at it, that, Yallah, I can't come there. Look at this, I can't fight my way in here. And like this, the other day I just saw on a YouTube that woman screaming and saying, pushing one man away, you don't know I'm a lady and you are pushing me here and you're doing this and all that. So we don't need all that, but we have to now go into the haram and for your tawaf, all this you have to do. That is very essential. So to say that there is a very big crowd and all that, we must not use this excuse, and we must not use the excuse of the weather, that the weather will run up to about 50 degrees, sometimes even much more, 50 degrees, and especially in Arafat. And in Arafat also, you don't have to stand in the sun and make dua. You can stand in the excuse me, you don't have to stand in the sun. You stand in your tent, stand somewhere in the shade. There are trees there, but although very few trees that are there, the small amount of trees that are there, that you can stand there and make your dua whilst you are there. Another thing over the years that I've been noticing is this walking Hajj, that everybody gets heated up and that he's going to earn a lot of sawab going walking. Now, very strangely enough, the Prophet ﷺ, I've studied his whole Hajj from the day he left Medina till the day he came back to Medina. I've been through all that. He did all this on a camel. So there was no walking Hajj. There was no walking Hajj. Some person some years ago, unfortunately, started with this, that there's a lot of sawab in this, we all go walking. So you go walking, and with this kind of weather, you are leaving there, even if you leave at 6 in the morning from Mina, because from Mina you are going to go walk straight to Arafat, which is approximately about 5 to 7 kilos, depending on where, because Arafat is very large, so you might not be able to get to there, you will have to get to your camp or wherever you are. So people start going walking, thinking that there is great rewards in it. I don't see that. I don't see it in any kitab. I don't see it anywhere that a Hajj like this, a walking Hajj, will bring you better rewards. And what happens? When these people walk, nobody here, I know that nobody can walk here till across the road also, it is very high, it is very hot. And you find that 5 kilos, 6 kilos, starting off at about 30, 35 degrees, 40 degrees, by the time you come to Arafat, it is already 45, 50 degrees already. I have seen personally with my eyes that the man who is encouraging everybody, he just flops. He just flops there because he's so tired now walking that 5 or 6 kilos, and he sleeps. Now it is time for Zohar, he's still asleep. It's time for Asr, he's still sleeping. And when it's time to probably get up, that is the time he gets up now, because now people are preparing to leave Arafat. So don't get carried away with this. Do everything in moderation. You do it in moderation, you don't chase in any way whatsoever. Sorry, you'll have to excuse me with that water again. Sorry, I just recovered from a flu about a week ago. I'll just keep the water by me. So the thing is that do moderation. Coming the haram, make one tawaf, go away, or 2 tawaf, go away. If you find that there's not going to be a low crowd at all. And especially now with the high cost, people are afraid to go for many days because of the high cost. Also those whom you have relatives or friends or maybe somebody going here, it's excessive. I can't say in any way whatsoever that is a good price. I don't know why are they killing us with such high prices, and people have to go there. So these days nobody can go like we used to go before. I used to go, take my group for 6 weeks and 8 weeks we used to go. And we used to find Medina empty, we used to find Makkah empty, and like this we used to find, but we don't find that anymore now. The costs are so expensive. So the thing is that do a little bit, but do it regularly and moderately. don't overdo it, and like this, you come back. Then the other thing is, as an example, which a lot of Hajis go for Hajj, they don't stay on the 13th of Zil-Hijjah. The 13th of Zil-Hijjah is the last stoning day. Those of you who have been there or you might be going there, they take the last day. Everybody is fed up now because of the heat of the staying and this, that, because now you have to sleep on the floor, there's no beds there or anything of that sort. The only couches you get is in that 5-star thing. Otherwise, here you have to sleep on a 1-inch or 2-inch sponge mattress. So, like this, people just want to run away the minute the Hajj ends, because officially the Hajj ends on the 12th, but the Rasulullah stayed on the 13th as well. So on the 13th, by 13th, the Mina is totally empty. You go and stone, and then you leave. So the bulk of the South Africans, and I've been telling them always in my talks, that don't go away, stay there till the 13th. I know our camp, where there used to be 2 and 3 and 400 people, you find 20 and 30 people only left on the 13th. So when you go see it, see that you make use of your time very carefully and very judiciously and regularly, that you go for Salah. Even if it has to be on the street, you take your Musalla with you, you can read on the street, you can read anywhere, as long as you're following the Imam there. And like this, if you can go in. And there is a lot of place inside the Haram also. Don't think that there isn't place at all. If you see any of these videos or the Salah also, you'll find that upstairs on the first floor, second floor, especially, I don't say go right onto the roof, because the roof will be very hot. Only if you go for Fajr or you go for Maghrib or Isha, you'll find that there's plenty of space. So let us make use of that time very profitably, that when you come back a Haji. Not that you come back here complaining about anything, or that this was this, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. So this is what Hajj is. There must be some effort, some money. You find the poorer countries, and in fact, I've been reading now recently also, some of the Indian Hajis, they brought that 200 rupee note, so you take it to the money changer and he will give you riyals accordingly. And I believe that is cancelled now. So all those poor people, I don't know what they're doing. This morning I was seeing at some places they don't allow them to cook because they don't have the money. So we especially us, must be thankful to Allah Ta'ala, not once or twice, hundreds of times, that our Hajj is done, our food is there, this is available, this busing is available, we don't have to walk, we don't have to go to difficulties. And like this, spend our time, and especially when the 5 days come. The other thing also that has to be very important is that when you reach Mina especially, Mina, it will be a large tent, there will be probably 100 people in this tent, 100 next door, 100, like this, they spread it out. So you go there and you don't start talking politics, you don't start talking economics, you don't start talking about anything. If you have some reading matter, and especially like the virtues of Hajj, you get it in a separate section, the virtues on Hajj, that you sit down and you do your thing, or you have your small Quran with you. You'll have to take your Quran also with you, because there is no Quran in Mina. Mina, you won't get any Quran. You'll have to take a small, tiny one or so, or any other reading matter you'll have to take with you. So, like this, these are the things that you have to take with you, and use it profitably, and you spend your time there. Time and again, as I said, we find this tourist Haji here, and he makes a nuisance of himself, and sometimes not one or two. Sometimes I've been so many times that I can tell you that every year we have been having disturbances for here, there, everything. And one thing is that the government hasn't allowed, which alhamdulillah is very good. I don't know how effectively they use it. There's no smoking. And you find that there's no smoking thing also. Before, when there was smoking, then people used to gather around there. All the smokers' corner used to be there in Mina also, and Arafat also. So like this, the smoking has stopped, alhamdulillah, it is banned totally. That is very good, because this is something that is of a very big nuisance, especially to the non-Haji. So, brothers and sisters also there, I think ladies as well, sisters, that use your time profitably, don't spend your, and don't now compete with one another. Sometimes the ladies also, they want to compete, this one's abaya is better than that one's abaya. Don't go there and do all these things. Just wear your clothing, whatever you have, your simple ways and all that, and stick to your ibadat. Take your Quran, a small, but you'll have to take the Quran with, because sometimes you're traveling in a bus, so you've got nothing to do. Or you, as I say, in Arafat, in Mina, in Muzdalifah is only a felt. You just come there, there's an open felt, and you just put your grass mat on the floor and sleep on the floor. That is what you'll have to do. So, like this, see that your time is well spent, and care for yourself, and don't overeat or don't overdo anything, and do it in regular amounts, and you do it in regular amounts, inshallah you will have a good and a satisfying Hajj. So these are some of the advices that I can give to all the Hajjis that are going, that Allah make it easy for them for the Hajj. And as I say, that because a very short space of time today, nobody is going for 4, very few people are going for 4 and 6 weeks at a time. You find that now people are going right towards the end and staying 2 days here and 2 days there, and some are staying in, or some have to take now the Azizia option, which means that you are in Makkah, but you are 5 kilos from the Haram. So either you get bused by your agent, you get bused to the masjid and back again. So like this, there will be inconvenience. You must accept inconvenience also, that this thing is not on time, this is not here, or there is pushing, or there is this or that. Accept all this. Go there as a man who's got no feeling whatsoever. So if anybody steps on his toes, he doesn't worry. He's just too bad, my toe must be in his way. That is why he trod on my toe. Or like somebody tells you something, you keep quiet. Don't argue. That also is another thing, small petty things, and you find suddenly there's an argument, and to this side and to that side and all that. All this, you don't need all of this during your Hajj. So, like the brothers, that if you go for Hajj, then do this and don't come back complaining. Whatever difficulties you will have there, Allah will reward you countless of times. And if you come back moaning about this and moaning about that and all that, then probably you have thrown away your whole Hajj. So these are the few things that I want to tell you, and that be careful. The thing is that Shaitan is always there. Please remember this. Don't think that you've left Shaitan in South Africa. He came with you to Makkah and Medina as well. And he's going to also tell you, do this, relax, when it's so hot outside now, it's 40 degrees or this, that, all these types of, in Urdu they say waswasa, that somebody speaks to you, so like this you'll get him whispering to you, do this, don't do this, no, it's too hot now, it's okay if you so, but like this, as I say, you must take precautions, and especially you must be hydrated, you must drink water regularly. You must drink water regularly, because you will need that water all the time. A lot of people who collapse and faint is because or dehydrated. It's the same problem, that they don't have enough water or they have not been taking. And also, I don't know, it depends on where you are and all that. You can use an umbrella whilst you are in ihram. You can't cover your head, of course. The men and the women can't cover their head, so your head will be open. So you rather invest in a small umbrella. You get the cheap, I don't know now what the prices are. So you get the cheap 5-10 real umbrella that you can use to cover yourself, because you'll have to stand and you'll have to show a lot of patience. Especially when you come to Arafat, you find that there are 50 people standing there in the queue for the toilet. You also standing there. Now you standing there like without any cover of your head and all that. That is the best chance you can get heat stroke. So like this, all these things, and as I say, a lot of sabr, a lot of hardship if they come your way, and don't complain, say anything and make sabr, and if you're going to do that, then you will have Hajj Mabrur. So it's not that you're going from here, so by the time you come back again, you will be a Mabrur Hajj, a pure accepted Hajj. Sorry, you're not going to get that. And probably you come back worse. I know I've seen that as well, although I'm not here as a judge to anybody also, but I've seen the person comes back from Hajj, he's even worse than what he was when he went. So all these are the weaknesses and the mistakes that we find in Hajj. So please, brothers, make use of your right time, make use of whatever you're doing, and make your whatever little ibadat you can make, and that when you come back, then at least you are acceptable in the eyes of Allah Ta'ala. Wa akhiru da'wana.